Happy Thursday evening. The weeks are flying. We are back with my two trusty sidekicks, Tyler and Evan. Today we're working on some Hi-Crotch finishes, uh, some from a crackdown, some just coming up off the mat, normal finishes, and then we'll call it a night. So I'll have them warm up a little bit. And then if you're home, go ahead and do some jumping jacks, some stretching, some rolls if you got a mat, some jogging in place, and then we'll get going in about 3 or 4 minutes.
I'm trying to follow your footprints.
If you're home, let's go over about 2 minutes of stance and motion nonstop. Nice and easy, some good level changes. Um, if we don't have a place or a soft flooring, then we can just go regular stance and motion, down blocks, circling, visualization, elbow passing, and go from there. Oh. Ready, second. And time. Switch again. All right, so just if you have a partner, great. If not, let's just try to simulate these motions. We're just going to start off with a basic, just level change to a high crotch, right? Start bending your legs a little bit. We want to be able to get as low as we can. When I go ahead and shoot on this high crotch, I want to kind of attack high on his thigh. I don't really like going low. Some coaches teach this way. Some wrestlers, end up going ahead and snaking here. I like controlling the hip nice and high because if he does pull his leg back, I still have his hip and I can keep him close. A lot of times when we tend to snake here and our opponent puts his leg back, we get extended this way and now we just have to start, knee pounding. I like attacking nice and high. Okay, I go ahead and get to a pivot here. My back elbow is going to go ahead nice and deep in here. And then I go ahead and come up, drive across. Okay, so real just easy. I want to be able to just go ahead and level change, attack nice and high, back elbow deep as I go ahead and pivot. My head is up looking for that far shoulder, and then I'm going to go ahead and drive across. Right now I'm not going to get into a setup. I'm just going to have these guys level change, go in, and nice and easy. Concentrating on getting that back elbow deep, and then coming up and driving across. Okay? Back elbow deep.
Deep.
Oh, right hand. This hand.
Yeah.
Back on the left side.
Good. So, we'll add a little setup here, but right now, just for the sake of working on this high crotch and the finish, we're gonna get into what we really want to do once we get into this leg, right? So I'm in here again. I like grabbing nice and high. You know, some guys end up going high up the crotch. That's why it's called the high crotch. I just like grabbing right underneath the butt cheek, nice and deep. And when I get to this pivot, that back arm is also nice and deep. So see this elbow? I'm elbow deep. I'm not here. I got to get this nice and deep so that when I'm driving across, this leg can come off the mat. Okay? So right now what I'm going to have them do is you got to be able to bounce off the mat on this high crotch pretty quickly. Okay? I'm going to do something called going slow in and then coming out fast. So normally what that looks like is I'm coming in nice and slow. I'm going to go ahead and bounce up and then bounce off my knee to get to my feet as fast as I can. Okay, so this is what they're going to do right now. They're coming in nice and slow. That knee touches it, and then they're just going to bounce up and then explode off that pivot and start driving across. Okay, one more time. We're getting in here. We're coming in nice and slow. Bounce off that knee. And then go ahead, elbow deep. We'll start driving across from there. Okay, couple minutes. Nice and slow in and explode up. Good. Slow and explode.
Almost so slow.
See that? That's the
You said
slowest.
how fast? You said slow.
You just fast and fast. You're just fast and slow.
Feels good normal to me.
I don't get high crotches.
Exaggerate the slow. Exaggerate. Real slow. Once that knee touches, then explode off that knee. Slow, slow.
So
Stop. Good.
it's so awkward, guys. Slow.
I just love changing.
Yeah. Real slow. And then bounce up off that knee. Good.
I was like slow and medium.
I can't go slow and fast.
Good.
I go fast, or slow and slow.
It's just wrong. You probably close your eyes like this too.
I'm not going to do that.
This is really good, again, to just focus on what happens when we get to that leg and when we're on that knee. We don't want to stay on our knee. We want to treat this mat like it's fire and then bounce up and we'll make sure we can get that pivot. That pivot's important because it moves your body or kind of guides your body to go in the direction you're supposed to go. Okay, when we go in, we're going in and then kind of diagonal forward. It's somewhat like an L, but not really. It's not a complete L. But we want to be able to go in and then explode off that knee and start driving across. Good. You got like one speed.
Huh?
I know.
One speed. You go slow, then fast.
Want me to go really fast?
No, I want you to go
Yeah, really
slow.
fast.
Yeah. Go slow is good. Two more seconds. Go four.
Oh, that's an even number right there. Finally, guess what?
Four is odd, and in an R.
First time. These are an odd number. That
One more each. One more. Good. Let's get into a setup on this high crotch. Now they're going to start finishing a little bit. Okay? What I want to kind of do is I want to be able to move my opponent okay, for the purpose of getting this arm to reach. So a lot of times when you're resting in here and you call it tie, this arm's going to come up all the time, okay? Now, my feet aren't set for me to go ahead and hit my high crotch this way because I hit my high crotches righty. So what I have to kind of do once I get to this reach is I want to kind of backstep. So with my collar tie, I backstep, and then I go ahead and pop his elbow, and then come in on this high crotch to my finish. Okay, so we're going whatever leg lead or shot you shoot with, lead leg. I'm normally a right leg lead, but on this I'm going to end up leading with my left because I want to club with my right hand. Okay, I club him, I step back, I pop, and I get into my high crotch. Okay, I club, create motion, pop, in on my high crotch. Motion, pop, in on my high crotch. And then we're going to go ahead and finish. Okay? Finish. He's good, he's good.
Okay.
It's very important to get this good pivot in. As we pivot, we're making sure that our head is up, looking for that far shoulder. Okay, our head being up makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to come up. You want to look for that far shoulder. Go ahead and attack the knees as we go, drive across. A lot of times, do this wrong time. Get in and start grabbing higher, like attack higher than that knee, step on the waist. A lot of times when we do this, they just get this stuff. Right, turn on. Keep on. Go back on that knee. A lot of times when we're in here, we get guys that'll attack kind of up by the butt on this far side, or sometimes even try to come to this waist. Okay, this allows your opponent to, as you drive across, to just be able to hop on his far foot. Go ahead, come on. He's just going to be able to hop on his foot, okay, this way, and have an opportunity to defend. Okay, in folk style, we go out of bounds, you get no takedown. Okay. In freestyle, obviously, if he does go out of bounds, we're giving up a point. But we don't want those points. We want to be able to get those takedowns, 2s, 4s, or 2 and 3 in folk style to get some back points. Right? Attack those knees where his knee bends. Crush those knees in as we're coming across, and then go ahead and flare this guy out and finish it. Hopefully, going to his back. Go ahead. Let's go 2 more each. 2 more sets each. Again, very important. We keep our chest up. We keep our head up. That's going to kind of stop your opponent from being able to sprawl and maybe get his chest down to put a lot of weight on you. As long as we can keep our head and chest up, we slow our opponent down from being able to sprawl here. Okay, so just an explanation. You guys can see a lot of times we get into this leg, right? And obviously this guy wants to go ahead and crouch me down, right? And get my chest down. This is not a position I want to be in, okay? We have to be tough in here. All positions are tough, but we have to be tough enough in here that when he decides to want to go ahead and squat me down, I hold my position up, right? I got to keep my chest up. I keep my head up, keep my chest up. I keep a nice 90-degree angle with this foot, so I'm ready to go ahead and drive across, okay? But if you ask, go ahead and try to reach my ankle. I can't reach my ankle because my chest stays up, right? And I follow him here. If I end up going down like this, then he can go ahead and reach and get to those boot scoop sits and those different counters that really happen because we make these small mistakes, okay? So when we're in this, and it doesn't matter what shot it is, here's my position on a high crotch. My head is up, okay? My chest is up. Here's my position on a single leg. My head is up, okay? My chest is up. Here's my position on a double leg. My head is up, my chest is up. That position cannot be compromised in wrestling. Okay, that's a standard thing that has to happen. There's no negotiation about it. Okay, head and chest have to be up. That's how we're going to finish. Okay, your opponent's goal when you're trying to finish is to get your head down to the mat. Okay, if we can get our head up, our chest is going to automatically be up. We'll be able to go ahead and finish our takedowns. Or, again, it's not guaranteed, but we'll be at a good 90-95% chance that you're going to finish. When we make those mistakes and can't finish is when our position just gets broken, and now we're crunched back, our head is down, we're getting extended, and now our opponent is doing everything that we don't want to do when it comes to getting finishing this high crotch takedown. Okay, so head up, chest up all the time. Once we come up to our feet after this high crotch, so our second finish per se, we're in here, and now we have this leg up off the mat. I want to go ahead and try to finish, but Evan's holding my elbow in, so I can't come across. I can't come across to finish this shot. So I want to give him some pressure, and then back step, so I can go run the pipe. He falls down, I watch him fall, I get my takedown, okay? So we're in on this high crotch. We go ahead and we drive across. He's holding my elbow. I step back. I want to put him on his backside. I bow down, I step back, pressure with my shoulder. I watch him fall, then I get on top. Okay, let's not make the mistake of falling down with him. A lot of times that will create a scramble in that situation because I kind of fell down and didn't hold my body up. I wasn't controlled. All right, I want to be able to get into this high crotch, drive. Go ahead and bend down, watch him. Now, I can go ahead and cover him and get on top. Okay? So what's the motion? We're in the high crotch. I'm in this position. I start driving. I step back and bow down. Okay? We're in this high crotch. Good squat. I drive to get him. Step back, bow down. I watch him fall. Then I go ahead and get on top. Okay? So high crotch. Let's drive across. Maybe we can't get that arm across. We're going to go ahead and change direction, bow down, and then run the pipe from there. Okay. to go down.
And then your shoulder.
You have to show them, yeah. That's not You just don't want to be sloppy and just like fall to the side, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Other way. Good job.
I mean, it's still working because you just put pressure down.
Yeah. Watch this thing. Please.
Left, yeah.
You can go now.
Thanks.
I was just showing that. it
When
was
we're in
both
this
ways.
position and as they're drilling it, okay, I'm gonna, as they're doing it, hopefully they do it. We want to continue to move our feet all the time, right? Whether we can drive across or not, we want to keep our feet moving so that our opponent stays hopping. You want your opponent thinking about more in this situation, holding his balance versus how can I counter this guy right now? Okay, and if you stop your feet from moving, say you don't drive across, or you do drive and then you kind of pause and stop. That small pause gives your opponent a huge opportunity to start thinking about how he can go ahead and counter. So the whole time we do this, as you're driving up to your feet, as you're driving across, and as you're cutting back for this running the pipe, your feet are moving the whole time. They're not big movements, they might be small taps, but you're just constantly moving your feet so that this guy can only worry about holding his balance and not attacking your hands or how he's going to counter and try to score on you here. Okay, so let's keep our feet moving all the time here.
Okay.
So these, in a match scenario, these are really quick decisions that we're making. Okay, we definitely have to give that guy this push to drive across so we can try to switch to that double. But if it doesn't work, then we have to go ahead and cut back. Okay, all the while making sure that our feet are moving all the time. This is going to happen when your opponent holds that inside arm in so that you can't, stopping you from switching across to that double leg. You hold that elbow in, you can't come across. Now we got to go ahead and make a quick decision and change direction.
Circle and then we do it at the same time.
You do that.
No, he goes like this. Watch.
You want me to do it?
And then watch. I go like this. You circle. And not even big. Because you don't have balance this far. It'll be like this. He'll circle, and then he'll bring it down. Yeah, it goes slow.
Clumsy. You see that circle and turn your body first.
I think what he's saying is you're not
Going
pushing
like
him across
this.
first. Right, so get that motion going across first, right? Get him going this way. Then we'll put the chin back. Drive across, now go. Yes.
That one was good.
Let's go, one more rotation each. One more.
You learned, bro.
Drive, lead. Good.
Actually,
One more. All right, so that's that's kind of your chain wrestling motion of really trying to drive across. He holds my elbow in. I gotta go ahead and change direction and make that work. Now, let's just say you don't go down on that run the pipe, right? Just come back. So drive across, come back, and then just go ahead and drive across. Right? So let's just say don't fall down until he drives back. Just don't fall.
are you looking at me?
You got facial like this.
Okay, so let's just say that maybe he doesn't go down on that cut back on that run the pipe. Then we, again, remember what I said about keeping your feet moving, keep attacking, keep putting motions together. He's going to drive across, he's going to come back, that didn't work, and then he's going to end up coming back again, just so that he can create that chain wrestling and make Tyler have to counter and defend 2, 3, 4 different attacks, right? So this becomes 3 different attacks here. It's an initial high crotch with a drive across. That didn't work. He comes back. That didn't work. And now he's going to blast him again. Tyler has to defend all 3 of those things and have his balance to be able to come out of this situation, unscathed. So go ahead, short. We're going to go high crotch. Right, we got to move our feet and then come back across. Okay, normally by that 3rd attack, you should be able to get that. Okay, you should be able to go ahead and be able to defend or finish that takedown. But the key, again, is to make sure that we can go ahead and keep our feet moving all the time. The moment we plant our feet is enough time to give our opponent a chance to go ahead and start thinking about things that he wants to do, or the different ways that we can defend from him. Next finish. Those first 2 were pretty basic. This one is a little bit, I don't want to say it's trickier, but it definitely works if we can get it. A lot of times when we're in this position, we have guys that want to lock around your waist. I'm adding this one. We have guys that kind of hang this arm. Maybe they won't lock, but they kind of get here in this position. This is a pretty easy finish or takedown to complete. I want to go ahead and back hook his elbow, trap his elbow in here. Right? I come in, that elbow comes, I trap it. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish this just like I would a fireman. So I started in the high crotch, okay? He reached and kind of countered me, trying to grab my waist. I'm going to go ahead and hook, and then I'm going to come back and finish this high crotch into somewhat of a fireman, and then go ahead and turn towards his legs. Okay? Again, I get into this high crotch. He kind of crouches down, which is what he's supposed to do. That's how he defends. I want to get in here. That arm comes and I want to immediately grab it. Okay? I'm going to go ahead. Throw his legs away. Hold on to his arm. Always turn toward the leg. Okay? So we're just adding a slick little back hook in here. He thinks he has you, which he doesn't. He thinks he has you in the defense, but he doesn't. I want to go ahead and back hook his elbow. Okay? I'm going to slightly penetrate, turn his body. Finish this fireman. I hold on to his arm, and then I always turn towards the legs. We're going to work on this for about 2 minutes. Okay, just something real slick to do. Take away your opponent's counter by of him locking around your belly and squatting, and you use that. Use that to your advantage. Penetrate forward.
Okay.
Head up. And then go ahead and finish. Good.
I didn't want to go 5 minutes.
It could be like when you're in there, you back hook it. You could take that second
watch
roll
it.
if you want. Yeah, somewhat.
I tried.
It doesn't have to be a big step, but something that just kind of changes direction a little bit. Yeah, that's good. And now go. Good. Okay, again, so this is gonna work as long as we're really trying to fight our chest up, fight our head up, fight our chest up. This guy's gonna wanna crunch you down. Go ahead and back hook that. Go ahead and take another penetration and then finish that just like a normal regular fireman. Back hook, take that penetration step, go ahead and fire him. Good. Always turn towards the legs. Always turn towards the legs. On this finish, you want to kind of hold on to that back hook. Hold on to that elbow as you come back towards his legs, because that's going to stop him from being able to bridge away from you. He definitely can't bridge into you. And he's definitely not going to be able to bridge away from you because you're going to be trapping that elbow. Again, I like to explain a lot of times, when we do techniques, how that scores in the different styles. This is definitely takedown in folk style, 2 points. If you turn towards his legs and hold him, we're getting 3 points for a total of 5 points. Okay, you're getting 2. You hold him for a 5 count, you're going to get 3 more. You hold him for less than a 5 count, then you're going to get 2 more. So possible 4 points, possible 5 points in folk style. If we stick if we focus on the whole technique. I think in this position, if we settle for just a takedown, I think that's a huge mistake. We can definitely get at least 2 and 2 off of this if we hold on to this. This is definite back points. I want to say almost definite pin here fall if you're a pinner. In folk style, feet to back, this technique will score. Freestyle, feet to back, this technique will score you 4 points off the bat. And definitely a possible fall if we hold on to that elbow. One more rotation each. Just something tricky, guys. Something to keep in your back pocket. Definitely not something that would be expected by an opponent. This is not something you see every day, but it's definitely a good. I wouldn't call it a trick, but a good technique to keep in your back pocket just in case you need it. Okay. All right. If we don't have any questions, you guys want to do?
Huh?
Okay. Right, so we're gonna get into. If we have any questions, if you're watching, go ahead. Feel free to ask. So we just to recap, we went into just a regular Hi-Crotch motion, drive across, cut that far leg. to a high crotch double leg finish. Okay, focusing on making sure that when we're in that leg, right, we're creating good angles, strong angles. I create a 90-degree angle with my legs. I create a 90-degree angle with my body. My chest stays up, my head stays up. And when I get in that leg, I want to make sure that I pivot, right? I pivot my feet so that I'm able to go ahead and drive across my opponent, okay? Once we get to that pivot, that was your regular cut to that double leg. Once we pivot here and then come up to our feet and drive across, if we can't get this elbow out to drive across, then we're going to go ahead and cut back for that run the pipe technique. All right, so we're in on this high crotch. We get to this pivot, our elbow's deep. I drive across. I can't get my elbow out because it's holding it in. I change direction, and I go ahead and put him on his butt. Okay. Third one we did, we're in this position. We cut that corner. He kind of crunched me down a little bit. I feel his arm around my waist. I want to go ahead and back hook that elbow, put my knee down, and then finish that like a normal fireman. Okay. If you really like that back hook, you'll start noticing when you do, if you're a high crotch guy, that you'll feel those arms around your waist a lot more than you think. It's there. A lot of times also, you can hit that similar technique when we're down here on the mat. Maybe this guy goes and sprawls a little bit, right? And there goes Tyler's hand. He's not grabbing me, but there it is. This arm is here a lot more than we think. And anytime we can go ahead and back hook that, we're going to be able to go ahead and flip him here, and then always turn towards the legs. All right, so it's a position that we get into a lot, and that arm gets hanged there a bunch of times, more times again than we really expected, and it's a really cool technique. By the way, this technique from the mat is how Kyle Snyder got beat by Abdul Rashid Sotilayev in the World Championship. Abdul Rashid takes a shot, whether it was a single leg or a high crotch. He gets here. Kyle Snyder went and started squeezing around his waist because he was trying to get his legs back and defend. So Sotilayev went and started popping his butt up. You guys can watch the match. And what he did was he back took his elbow right there. He went to sit, and then he caught his elbows this way. Okay. This is not something we don't make these things up here. These are things that happen more often than not in wrestling matches. And if we can stay ahead of the game and anticipate those things happening, you could make your opponent look pretty dumb. And they're just pretty efficient and effective things to do. Okay. Next, if there are no questions, I'll move on. Okay. Next position is a position that I don't necessarily like. I kind of blame John Smith a little bit for the position because he was a crackdown position master. It worked for him. It's not a position I like to get to, and more often than not, kids get in trouble in that crackdown position. But if we do get there, let's learn how to finish it. I get into this high crotch. Here's my crackdown position where either Tyler sat or I brought him down to his butt. Okay, what we don't want to do is kind of hover over this leg and keep our butt in the air. Okay, if I keep my butt up, Tyler can go ahead and waist lock, push me to the side, and then go towards my head, and then start working his hips out. And now we're back in this position. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to kind of clear that leg. We don't want to stay. We don't want to stay hovered over this leg. I want to be able to get my body, take my body, and move it to the outside. Clear this knee. Okay. Again, look what's happening here. There goes that elbow that I say happens all the time. I want to go ahead and back hook that elbow. Go ahead and get on my toes. Start coming out. And then I can go ahead and sit up here for some back points and a possible pin from here. Okay? Again, we're in this crackdown. We're in this position. I don't want to stay in between. Okay, a lot of times guys are going to lock around your waist here to try to get you off balance and push you back. Once I clear here, this arm's going to be here. I want to go ahead and look for it. Okay, I don't need to lace my arm in here. I really just need to go elbow to elbow and kind of pinch it in. All right, from here I'm going to get on my toes, get on my forehead, and then I'm just going to run my feet all the way across, and then come back to sit up and hold them here. Okay. Different way we could finish it, and I'll have the boys kind of drill both of them. The other thing we can do off this back hook, right, is get on our toes, and just kind of flip over, turn towards the legs. Okay. Again, either way, I'm getting on my head, I'm tripoding, I'm putting him in danger. Watch Tyler's back get exposed to the mat. There goes that exposure. I can go ahead and flip over, hold on to that elbow, that leg. I can either push back or turn towards the legs into a turn. And go ahead and finish. Okay, so one's going to be a roll to kind of sit up and hold them in. Clear this leg. Okay, my knees are to my chest. I want to get small. I back hook this elbow. I get on my toes. I run. I bring this leg with me. I have his elbow. I have this down. My elbow's close to my body. I can get a pin from here. Okay? If you want to be flashy, and obviously freestyle, you're going to need control to get this, so I don't need to hold him on his back to get my back points. I'm going to be in here nice and tight. I want to go ahead, keep him here. Normal wrestlers will panic from here and want to kind of belly down, which will make it easy for me to get here. And then freestyle, I'm in a leg lace folk style. I can go ahead, get into a Turk, and try to get some back points from here. Make sure we clear those legs, get our butt down, look for that elbow, explode, hold everything in here. Always turn towards the leg, guys. Always turn towards the leg. Don't turn towards the head. Back down position, clear those legs, get small. Yep, start looking for that elbow. Good. Again, if you really pay attention to this, as you're wrestling and you get into these positions, you're going to notice that elbow, you can back hook that elbow a lot more often than you may think. You may think, no, I don't know if that arm gets there. I don't think I can. It happens, trust me. You get kids that kind of squat, they want to lock around your body and start throwing you back. Anytime that arm comes around that waist, go ahead and back hook that elbow. Go ahead and run. Good. Again, just some small things, guys, that you can add into your game. These are not things that are set in stone. Sometimes you might get, based on how you like to finish this Hi-Crotch, you'll get into certain positions all the time. All right, maybe one of these finishes could help you make that finish a lot better for you. Plus the other ones. Obviously, we should all know basic finish. Hi-Crotch, come across, cut double leg. Try to cut across. If he stops you, run the pipe. If he ends up sitting and knocking around your body or your chest, you can go ahead and back hook that elbow and then go to work and try to get some exposure and back points.
Omar, how's it David?
I've been here all day.
Good.
I've been here all day.
You've been here all day?
I was graced early in the morning by you too.
course.
You
We get you.
finish my day.
We get you up. We make you up.
No, you don't.
They texted me at 10:30.
You text me at 10:30.
Why do you never ask how you doing, Tyler? You just ask. Tomorrow at 7.
Because I know you're doing fine.
What if I do bad?
No chance. Your father would tell me if you were doing that.
Why can't I tell you myself?
You tell me.
You gotta text it. You gotta text it how I did. You gotta tell me how you do it.
I had texted you. You texted me like 2 hours later.
He doesn't answer me. I'm gonna talk about the store. What do you want? I come back home. Should have got me
He's
this.
probably sleeping. That's why. Couple more rotations each, and then we'll go ahead and finish up with our last finish here from this crackdown.
So for now on, yeah, you know, yeah.
Sure.
That's good.
Text you once a day. And that's the way-
You're gonna take some early because you'll get a reply at 10 o'clock at night.
No, I'll reply once I see it.
Which is when?
3 hours later.
3 hours later.
Yeah. Probably be sleeping.
I would say probably. I'm pretty sure that's what you'll be doing. We're almost like on September.
What's the difference?
The difference is they go to a tournament and fall asleep
I do that.
and wake up, not warm up, or put somebody back and go back to sleep. And then wait for his next match.
I think that at school with you.
Is it?
I would warm up, remember? Only like one match. A fun me. I would play at my same like.
Okay, you go to 55.
Yeah, but you want to be performance. They're gonna break,
No, I did fall asleep.
and break you.
I fell asleep. Yeah.
One more rotation. I like that trick. That's a really, really cool trick. I tell people I don't know if I ever want to change groups because that's my favorite group.
Yeah, but like, you won't be with me, so like, you have to change.
Huh?
You have to change you.
And that's all we had to do. Gate to floor. Gate to floor.
So you don't care about me. I don't even want you. I don't even want you texting me.
You know why I like that group? Because they want to win, but they're still learning. Right? So you can kind of you can teach a lot. Because that's in juniors, they just want to win. Right? So there's no learning. There's no learning at all. It's too serious for that. Everybody wants to win.
I ain't know.
Juniors, I could see. All right, let's go win a national title. You know, bro. I think that age group and cadets should be more, about learning a little bit. And just take it too seriously, especially the duels. The duels are too serious.
I'll never take freestyle. Freestyle is so fun. I like joking around.
Until you figure it out. Until you figured it out.
So you get thrown all the time.
That's fine.
I don't think you got to do that. It's really.
Yeah, remember I was losing like 7-2.
How'd you get headlocked or something?
No, I came behind me.
You threw you back? I don't know if I remember that.
I saw one of the videos that when we found out that you could shoot double target hooks. And you never watching this at the first one, you shoot and then just come up without touching the balls first.
Oh, and then you hit a trap down after that.
I know.
And then that was the slowest trap down ever.
It's like this.
You know, and one time I only been there for like 5 seconds. And
Last technique here, guys, for the night. So let's get into that breakdown. So the other thing that we can do here, again, We definitely want to be able to clear these legs, this knee. We want to get our knees to our chest and get small. This is where we want to be. Open up just a little bit more. Move to your left. Yeah. So right now, what Evan's going to do, he's going to get into a tripod, and the leg that he has, so right now he's grabbing Tyler with his right arm. He should have his right arm or right hand by his knee. But he's going to end up tripoding and slide his arm down to go ahead and table his leg to the outside of his hip. Go ahead. Yep, he wants to elevate that leg to outside of his hip, and now he's just going to go ahead and drive across his body to go ahead and finish this crackdown position. Okay, do it again. We're in this crackdown position, right? Again, very important. We want to control that whole leg. We want to control that knee. We want to get clear his knee to be able to stay in good position and not get flipped around. And then once he's ready, he's going to get into that tripod, snake that leg, put it to his hip, and then start moving across his body to go ahead and get to this finish. Okay, again. Again, crackdown position, get to that knee, control that knee, clear his knee, get your whole body out to the outside. He's going to go ahead and tripod, table that foot right on his hip, and then go ahead and drive into that leg. Kind of thinking about what we did on Tuesday, putting pressure into your opponent all the time. Right, go play with that. So again, we're clearing that knee, getting to the outside of his knee. Once we tripod, we want to bring that whole leg to the outside of our thigh and then start driving across his body. Here's the knee, tripods elevate, start driving back across the body. It's not training. Training shouldn't get itchy.
So you're saying I should not itch my itch?
No,
That should be pure muscle.
not if you can train it.
I don't think it should bother it ever again.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
yeah. If you train your shin.
If my shin is pure muscle, but like mosquitoes are still gonna bite.
How'd you get bit by mosquitoes? We're outside past 6 o'clock.
I was sleeping in my bed.
You left the window open.
Yeah.
You were talking.
I'll tell you before.
I've been in here all day, so the people are telling me it's been hot.
It is hot.
You definitely not gonna do that. Yeah, let's see
Cool.
that.
Who stepped on me?
You did.
I did not.
I remember one time we came in. Remember we came in and he was sleeping.
I was real tempted to get into the cave. Real tempted.
Don't be going, that's my kid. And
Scorpion Man cave. One more rotation.
Alright. I've
never seen one sleep fast.
I think I'm mad. Remember that one time we took coffee?
Yeah, I wasn't sleeping though.
You were about to.
I laid there, and then,
You look like me.
and then you came in.
You look like me in the morning. Definitely didn't sleep that night.
You didn't sleep that night?
No, you did.
I don't sleep much anyway. That's the life of a guy. Parents that sleep loud is bad.
That's true. He's in bed at 8:30.
You got one?
He has one more to say.
8:30.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. He feeds the dog. Lets her out and then goes to sleep and lays down.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna show. We're not gonna drill, but just another do that. Coming up to that. One other thing that'll happen is, or that we can do. Lastly, real quick, just real brief. We get into this high crotch, and a lot of times what'll happen is our opponent will really cut this corner really fast, and now we're stuck with our arm getting pulled back. Okay, so what Evan's gonna do right now is he's gonna end up right now his right knee is up, his left knee is down. Okay, as Tyler comes around, Evan's gonna go ahead and switch his knees. So go ahead and come into his opponent, change level, come into his opponent. Now he's gonna raise that inside leg up. So go ahead and lift Tyler and start coming out the back from here. Okay, this is called an Iranian. I'm not sure why it's called an Iranian. Maybe the Iranians are the ones that do it a lot, or that's how they finish. But this is a good thing to do as you feel your opponent either cut this corner really fast. Maybe he just beat you off this corner, okay? And you need to recover. Change level, get your shoulder underneath his hips. Go ahead and elevate and just kind of slide out the back. Okay, go again. We're trying to finish here. Tyler cuts this corner really fast. Change level, get under, and then start coming out the back. It's very important to notice what Evan's doing with his knees, so Evan do it slowly. He has one knee up. Right now it's his right knee. To you guys it looks like his left knee, but it's his right knee. As Tyler comes around, that right knee is going to come down. He's going to squat to get under, to get Tyler to lean over him a little bit. He's going to step up with his left leg, which is that back leg, and now he's just going to kind of sneak out the back and end up behind here. Okay, one more time. We're in the side crotch. Tyler cuts that corner pretty fast. Evan's about to lose him. Change level. Come out the back. Chase those legs and climb up. Okay. So that's our day today. High crotch finishes. I tried to think about a bunch of different things that, or positions that you may get into based on how your opponent would counter. The most used counter, I want to say, is a guy's going to hold your elbow in to stop you from go ahead and finishing that double leg. That's when we can go ahead and run the pipe, change directions, and finish. Okay, if not, we could always go, I don't want you to finish this, but hold that elbow in, and then I just want you to come back and just pop your hips in like on a crotch grip. Okay. The other thing we could do, if he holds his elbow in, you're going to listen? Okay. The other thing we could do as he's coming up, go ahead, start coming up. Tyler's trying to drive across. He can't get that inside elbow out, so he'll just pop his hips in and then start taking them towards his hands. Yeah, and then finishing that.
Okay, hold on.
And then finishing that kind of crotch lift. All right, do it again.
I'll do it again. No, bro.
Either one.
I'm doing it. You did the last one.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get into our crotch here. He comes up. He's trying to drive across, but Evan's holding his inside elbow in. Pop those hips in and use your head to take him towards his hands. Put his hands on the mat, and now we can go ahead and attack from there. Do one.
What the heck? This is going to be my move.
He just did twice.
He did 10,
Right? So he's going to come up. He's going to hold Evan's hand inside, his elbow inside. Evan's going to pop in, use his head to put him on his hand, and then go ahead and finish that double leg. All right? So there are multiple things that you could do to be able to finish the side crotch. Understand one thing. None of these things can happen. Okay? You're not finishing any high crotch if your initial position isn't where it's supposed to be. Okay? My head has to be up. My chest has to be up. I'm creating good angles with my body, with my knees, and I'm in a strong, powerful position here. Okay? If my position suffers from here, my head comes down, my chest comes down, it's going to be real difficult for me to go ahead and try to finish this. I'll get into scrambles more often than not. We might get into stalemate, so you waste a lot of energy in that position, or our opponent's going to go ahead and trying to counter us from there. So a bunch of high crotch finishes. Go ahead and review these and watch this video as many times as you want and get accustomed to it. There are a million other things we could do, guys, but I throw 5 or 6 different things at you. You pick 1 or 2, 2 or 3 that you like based on how you like to finish, and then just pound it, drill it 300-400 times a day until you get to a point where we can master those positions. Okay? Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a happy Thursday. Tomorrow's last day of the week. These weeks are flying by. Guys, we're going to be open pretty soon. So I hope you guys are doing what you have to do to stay in shape. All right? Have a good night.
Come on.